interview. But first, man, how about that weather? We have 60s today, 60s tomorrow, and 80s all weekend long. I'm not really an 80s person, but 60s is absolutely beautiful. Just got the go from our producer, Sabino. So I'm going to introduce these wonderful ladies that I have in the studio today. We have Natalie Brockeveldt right here sitting on the couch. How's it going, Natalie?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. And also sitting opposite of me in the guest chair, we have Emily Moore. How's it going, Emily?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming on in. You guys are with Project Summit Networking. And we're going to get into that a little bit. But first, how did you guys meet? How did all of this kind of get started here?
Divine intervention.
I like it.
Well, we had met years ago, and we have a lot of people that are just mutual friends and acquaintances in our network of people. And we met, and I knew from the moment I met Emily, I'm like, we are going to do something great together. And we've just had so many brainstorming sessions, and we wanted to help the community just understand the resources that we have to offer for business owners. And we have some summits to climb. And that's how Project Summit was born, just through really a conversation and a coffee date. And like I said, I knew when I met Emily, she has a lot to offer, and I wanted to create something with her.
You knew you wanted to do something, you just didn't know what.
That's right. Yeah.
All right.
And everyone normally starts with training with her. And then she talks you into things that you never wanted or thought you would want to do. But it's actually not really, hey, you're going to show up at 5 a.m. So actually, when it came out, it was on the treadmill at
That's
5
right.
o'clock in the
was.
morning.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we probably needed an extra coffee at that moment.
Exactly.
But we were on the climb together.
We were. Yeah.
All right. So you kind of thought, all right, well, networking, we got to do something. And I was talking with you, Emily, a little bit before, and you said, we have to do something, but it's got to be different.
Yes.
And that's what I like about this. So when did this come to fruition? How long has it been?
Almost a year and a half now. Yeah. Actually, just almost exactly at that year and a half marker. And it has been a really cool ride. I will say that we've met some amazing people, and we continue to do that and build this network of business owners and entrepreneurs that want to take it to the next level.
Nice. How did it start, Emily? Well, day one. All right. First of all we have this idea.
Yes.
What are we
Well,
doing?
I mean, so I have a background. Ironically, we have so much in common. So we've both been in business for 13 years. We had that in common. We've navigated a lot of different things, and I've helped to build communities in a space of events. Also, I've helped other networking groups before, and she's been to many too, right? So we're just talking about like what's good, what's not good, what works, what doesn't work. And then coming from the space of technology, it's how do you leverage technology to help people to get to the top? And so what we did is we developed this really cool system called the Pitch Perfect. And what it is an AI system that analyzes your pitch. And then it tells you how you can better present yourself when you are in any networking environment, or think about doing a keynote speech or anything like that. And it gives you ideas on how you can better deliver your message. Also, Power Partner matches you to people in the room and gives you ideas on how you can collaborate with them. Mm-hmm. And what I've found is it's easier to receive information from something that's not as personal. So like if I was giving feedback on your pitch and how you could better, perfect that versus an AI that's just using data. Mm-hmm. And we've literally seen people in the room that were shaking in their boots at first, and now they're rocking the room. Like they're rocking the room. It's pretty phenomenal.
Right. And it kind of takes that, in a good way, it kind of takes that personal side away from it to get people better. And I like the technology part because technology is not going anywhere. Oh, no. And we need to utilize it the right way. I've never understood people who are completely against technology because it's always going to be here and you can utilize it to really help yourself momentum wise.
And there's so many people that are scared of technology. Mm-hmm. That's always been a thing, but especially with AI. But honestly, the way that I look at it is so different. It's why would you not want to replicate yourself? how much more bliss and joy can we have in our lives if we're delegating something, a task, to something that can do it while you're sleeping, which is allowing us to focus on the things that we're better at in our business anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I love how both of you have been business owners for a long time. And so you guys know what works with networking and what really doesn't.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
she's the power partner networker.
Natalie's the power partner.
She is the connector at heart.
You're the one who loves building those bridges and connections between people.
And, you asked Emily earlier, what really did we want to do? And that's the main thing. We wanted to create something that was different, but we also wanted to take standard networking, real human connection, and then boost it. And that's what that technology does. It's that non-biased view. It's working while we're sleeping, while we're still harnessing that one-on-one connection, because that will never, ever go away, no matter how technology advances. And every day it's advancing.
Right.
The one thing that we can depend on and rely on is that human connection. That's what we need. We need that in life. We need that in business. And so when I got to talking more and more with Emily and just saw how brilliant she is on this technology side, that's really where we thought we could come together and say, hey, we can do something different. We can help people on a level that these other networking groups are not touching on.
Right.
And we're doing it every day. I mean, we're building these relationships with people, and technology is really skyrocketing us. It's taking us to the next level, and everyone else that's involved in Project Summit. But
I love how you say it comes down, though, to that personal connection, too, because I've always liked to say people do business with people. They don't do business with just a computer or, AI. They do business with people. They like the people.
Yeah.
And that's what builds that trust. You say on the website, growing a business is like the journey of hiking a 14er.
Yeah.
All right. So have you guys done a lot of 14ers?
She's done more than me. I've done one.
You've done one?
Yes. Right. I've done, I don't have the count, but dozens and dozens. I've done a lot of them. Yes.
I like it. I actually, so I was born and raised here in Colorado and never done a 14er. Last year I decided to do so.
Awesome.
Bierstadt, not awesome yet. Because I wasn't even a quarter of the way up and I slipped on a rock. My ribs fell on a rock I fractured 3 of my ribs. So I think that was kind of a sign, whatever, telling me, Josh, maybe 14ers aren't for you, but I might still do it again.
Do it again.
I do it again. All right.
This girl can run in her sleep. I'd like to do another 14er, but I have a story that really just represents so much about the journey. And I hiked Pikes Peak, and there's a halfway mark that you can bail. And so it was me and my girlfriend and 2 other guys that were ahead of us. And we're like, we're bailing halfway. And right as we were getting ready to do it, there was a guy who was like 80 years old running up the mountain barefoot. I'm not even kidding you.
Barefoot.
And we're like, oh my God, like there's no way we can turn around now. That's embarrassing.
Right.
And I was much younger. And so we went all the way to the top. And just one of the things that I realized is it was so much more of a mental challenge than it was a physical challenge. And business ownership is so much the same, because it's not going to be perfect. There's going to be switchbacks. There's going to be moments that you're like, wow, I'm pivoting, or I'm doing something that I didn't expect that I had to do. We were just talking about that today, actually, the real stories of having to run a business and the ups and downs where people are like, oh, you're so lucky. But you're like, yes, but there's times where it's hard.
Right.
But when you get to that top, you're like, it was a mental challenge, and it's never giving up on yourself.
Exactly.
Yep.
No, I mean, it's always, when it comes to a business, I think one of the greatest pieces of advice my uncle gave me a while ago was always be willing to change, because things are going to take you to where you didn't expect, which you just said right there.
Yeah.
And I think that's huge for a business owner. And you guys definitely know that firsthand. So I kind of like that analogy of it's like a 14er.
Yeah.
Did you come up with that? Who came up with the 14er? I'm thinking you just because you've done so many of them.
Well, to Emily's point, entrepreneurship is not for the people who want to give up, right? It's not for the people that feel like, well, this is too tough, because you really have to harness this mindset of, man, there are going to be days that you want to give up so bad.
Oh yeah.
But you can't. And in order to get to the summit, you have to pivot. And that might mean next time bringing a rain jacket, next time wearing shoes that have traction so you're less likely to slip and break ribs. So it's learning as you go, and it's having that mindset, being able to adapt and overcome anything that comes in your way. And I will say, you don't get to 13 years of business by luck. You get there by being tenacious. You get there by having a team of people also that you can rely on. And that was part of this conversation we had when we were coming up with a name with Project Summit. Who do you want to summit with? Who do you want to hike these mountains with? Because life is all about a series of mountains. Who do you want to be on your side? And ideally, you have people who have that same mindset, that tenacious mindset of like, let's lock arms and let's do this together, because it does take a village.
Right.
We're not in this alone. And that was the perfect analogy and the perfect verbiage for this is what entrepreneurship is. And then Project Summit Networking was born.
And I like that a lot too, because it is really who you're doing it with, because I don't care who you are as a business owner. I do believe that at times you're going to say, what the hell am I doing? Why did I do this? And you need that other person to say, nope, get up. We're doing this, you know, and kind of pull you out of that funk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you guys, I really like that about you guys when it comes to that. So you guys decided to come together. When it came to the networking, what was the big things where you said, I want it to be different? Because I don't want it to be like there's so many networking out there. All right. So what makes you guys really stand out? What did you say, this is what we got to concentrate on?
Connection. And I will say one of the things that we have both been taken back by is you attract what you put out, right?
Put out, yeah.
And there's a sense of vulnerability in the summits and people. I mean, I've seen it all, you know, high-fiving, crying, everything. And so it's having this group, again, and really echoing what we were saying, is that's pushing you up that mountain and also connecting you deeper than just the people in the room, right? It's all those extra connection points that we individually have, and that we can excel and propel each other's business way beyond the summit, way beyond that hour that we're spending together or the event that we're spending together.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And we'll talk about some events too, which you guys do actually have a lot. Now, the professional summits, you guys actually use the journey of hiking a 14er to even describe the professional summits that you guys have. You would list 4 of them on your website. So Quandary, Mount Massive, Longs, and Pikes, which I really like the names of those, first of all. So tell us a little bit, Natalie, what is, let's say, Quandary?
So each networking group is similar in that we have, like regular networking, we have a format. We believe in format. We believe in structure. That's really important for entrepreneurs. Most entrepreneurs by nature need a little bit of structure because they have that creative mindset. They are builders, they're creators. And so each of the networking groups gives every single participant and member a chance to showcase what they do. So we have our entry, we have our meeting where we start it, and we usually we have our president or moderator that's going to begin the meeting. And then we get to go around the room and talk about all of the different things that each of us do, what we're offering, what our ask is. And again, just like hiking a 14er, who are you going up the mountain with? Because you're probably not going alone. You need a team of people. We get to ask every single person that's in that meeting, this is what I need this week. And it depends on the business. You may have someone who's in lending. You may have a real estate agent. You may have someone who cleans houses. Every type of entrepreneur is welcome at Project Summit Networking, but in each group, we have one person per service. So that's the other thing. Some of these groups, you can have a ton, and we love that abundance mindset, which is why we bring them together for the events. But in each meeting and each group, we want to make sure that that person gets individual attention and they get the needs of their business and wherever their projected growth is. So if they need 10 new people to get in front of so they can offer their cleaning services to, we want to be able to provide that for them. So we all put our brains together. We have working sessions. We have testimonials that we do through it. I mean, we really work together to bring each person what they need. And then the other thing that we offer is the 15-minute presentation. So we get to get up in front of everyone. We have that perfect pitch little speaker that we talk into that records it and gives us that non-biased feedback to say, here's what you could improve on. Here are some power partners that you could work with. And it helps us to get outside of the mindset of, everything that I know. And it's, well, what does everyone else know? And what's this other perspective that we can bring into our own business, helping us to grow and expand? So every group does offer that, which is really cool. And that's where the standard networking and that human connection and building those personal relationships and business relationships come in handy.
Mm-hmm.
Because you kind of touched on this a little bit. We're going to purchase things from people and we're going to recommend things to people that we know, like, and trust.
Right. Exactly.
So there's nothing else in the world that's going to do that other than human connection.
Mm-hmm.
But the technology can make us better at that. And that's where the magic is. That's what differentiates us from some of these other groups. To the point that we've had some other networking groups approach us and say, how can we buy this from you? Because you guys have so many positive reviews. People are really, there's a great ROI associated with being part of Project Summit.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to get you money. We are going to get you business. We are going to take you to the next level. And part of that is the personality that Emily and I have about being tenacious. But the other part is the resources that we have. And Emily will talk more about the AI aspect because she's the mastermind with that. But it's the combination of all of it. And every summit that's listed on that website, we do that at each one. And it's a beautiful space. I would invite anyone to come in and just see it because it's magic. It's great.
And you can check it out at projectsummitnetworking.com. If you're listening on the radio, definitely remember that. But also, you can switch over to any of the K4CO radio social media platforms, and you can see all of our lovely faces. And on the bottom, it does have all this information going out there. Phone number is also 720-244-8622. And I'm glad you brought up that Emily will talk a little bit about the technology, because talking before the interview, you said you are the tech girl. You said you love the technology.
Yeah.
So expand a little bit on what she was saying on these.
Well, so it's funny. I have been in business since my early 20s. And for the longest time, like, what am I doing in technology? Right. It was never like just that immediate passion. Mm-hmm. What I've found is that I know how to demystify it and make it more approachable. So there's a tech team behind me, of course, that's doing all the developing. I'm not the one like behind the screens, like punching in the numbers. It's basically, here's the idea, create it, awesome. So we are getting ready to roll out a new software. As Natalie mentioned, you have a mic before that we were passing around, and then it would take time to get that data processed and then going into their inboxes. Now they'll be able to do it literally at their fingertips. As members will have access to their own recording device. So they could actually even take it outside of the summit to constantly improve. And even my most recent speaking engagement, I was recording myself because I wanted to know, how can I get better? I want to take on more speaking engagements this year, right? So you leverage that by getting that advice and taking it and moving forward. And we also have AI tips and tricks that we help with as well. But yeah, that's been one of our biggest leverage points, is continually developing. And I will say, like, for businesses that are looking for an increase in revenue or what they're worth, AI technology is incredible. The software that we've developed, it's a huge increase. I mean, $500,000 increase to the business just by implementing that into the system. So the things that we all have at our fingertips are absolutely incredible these days. And you don't have to be a developer.
Right, exactly. And I do like that too, because, when you're talking about technology, especially AI, there's good things, there's bad things about it. But having that human connection right there. And what you say is, so people with these microphones, so they do their, say, elevator pitch, they do their 15-minute pitch, everything like that. So this kind of analyzes it from a, I don't know how to say it, but a non-emotional point of view.
So if you were to take some of the best speakers in the world and you were to analyze their pitches, analyze how they present themselves on stage, that's what it's looking for, is how can you better relay your message that's going to identify with your market and make people know, like, trust, and want to buy from you, essentially, and build that relationship.
Wow. That's incredible. That's very interesting. Once again, this is projectsummitnetworking.com right there. And so outside of this, we're kind of talking about a lot of the benefits that you have through Project Summit. If somebody were interested, kind of walk me through how they would contact you, the best way to contact you, and what your, I guess, pitch would be towards them. I mean, what is you guys in a nutshell?
Sure. So, like I mentioned, we want one person per service per group.
So they get exclusivity.
They get that exclusivity.
Right.
But the other thing that takes us to that next level is the events that we do. We have a speed networking event and we have a sip and summit, which is essentially a coffee hour. And all the summits can get together. Because even though there might be two real estate agents doing the same thing, they may be able to work together on projects or even connect. Who knows what that connection may be able to do for them.
Right.
But specifically to the group, we invite people to come in maybe once or twice and really make sure it's a good fit for them. They can come in as a guest. The guest link is also located on our website. And just come in and see what we're all about. We also, we're a small business. We want to make sure that people are getting the service that they are signing up for. They have access to Emily and I, to our entire network, and everything that we offer. And so when they come in, they are getting more than just being part of the summit. They're getting to be part of our family. And that's really what business is to us, is it's that extended reach. It's that big family that you need to have in order to grow. And and then let's say that they're like, okay, those summit times don't work. It is absolutely free for them to come to our coffee hour, which is called the Sip and Summit. And at that point, they get to connect with all of the different entrepreneurs from the different summits. And even for people that are non-members that are like, hey, listen, I can't commit to a meeting, but they want to come to our events. We have events that have great food, cocktails, awesome, just a step up from the Sip and Summit. Mm-hmm. And then you get to really see more of the AI side, because when we have those meetings, when we have our big meeting, we call it rapid fire. That's our speed networking. Emily and I launch a new tool associated with AI at every single one. So now you're getting something that's even better than what you had before. And how can we leverage AI to help your business? And again, launch it and skyrocket to the next level. And that's another differentiator, is we keep growing, we keep pivoting, we keep doing it. Just like we said, Emily said, we had the little speaker, we passed it around. Mm-hmm. Now that's kind of archaic. Now we have this new thing that we have our, and it's pivoting, it's learning, it's going with where's technology going to take us next? It's really cool. And that's just a year and a half in business.
And it's so important. And so many times, well, clearly Natalie does apply what she does, because you can see how she's in incredible shape. But how many business owners do you know that don't actually apply what they do to their own business?
Right.
Exactly. It's so common, actually. So we are making sure that we do that.
Yeah, I remember my stepfather always said, it's not practice that makes you perfect. It's perfect practice that makes you perfect.
Consistency,
exactly.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is one big thing that you guys are offering with this. And how often is the Sip and Summit and the Rapid Fire go on?
Sure. So right now the Sip and Summit is it's the first Thursday of every single month. So that one is monthly. And that's awesome. It's actually located at Ziggy's Coffee at 120th in Sheridan, mm-hmm. Up in Westminster. And then our Rapid Fire is quarterly. Our next one is September 18th. So mark your calendars. And that's from 4:30 to 6:30.
Yes.
And we're actually looking for sponsors right now for the food and drinks. And we really try to offer these entrepreneurs an opportunity to showcase their business. Mm-hmm. And that's what that sponsorship aspect is. It's really just getting their name out there and putting them on a pedestal to show, like, hey, listen, we have some of the best entrepreneurs in Colorado as part of Project Summit. And you get to meet them when you come to our events.
And we're actually launching our podcast that night. So that's going to be so much fun.
That's
Yeah.
our next
Yes.
big thing.
Yeah, let's talk about this. I heard a
we're
little bit
excited.
about it.
Yeah.
So you guys are excited. So podcasts are huge today, which I love.
Yes.
Because people like information, people like talking, people like getting to know people.
Yeah.
And so you guys are going to be launching a podcast soon. Tell us about that.
Just really the whole story behind how people got started. How did you get started? Probably a little, dash of AI. There always has to be something. How are you leveraging AI in your business, or you're not, right? Like breaking the barriers of that fear as well, and just showing people little ways that they can implement that. But mostly it's about getting to the heart and soul of why you started your business. And why do people want to work with you, right? Like, how can we push that message out and help people to grow even further? And we just thought it'd be so much fun.
Yeah.
Like, we love it.
Like you like to you want to meet people and understand what are these businesses in the community and share that with everyone in your community.
Yep.
We have that same sense of joy when we get to do that with people. And that's what this podcast is about. It's also, and I own a gym. So my world always and that, again, this is why Project Summit Networking is about the summit, hiking a 14er, one of the hardest things you can do physically. But it's really about, is your business fit? Is it healthy? Are you prioritizing your own health and fitness journey while running a business? And that's the other thing. It's like, this podcast is going to help people understand that you have to be able to prioritize yourself as you prioritize the growth of your business. You look at these top CEOs, these people that are working 15-hour days, 7 days a week. What's one thing they have in common?
I would actually say passion.
It is. It's passion. But if you don't take care of yourself while you're so passionately pursuing these dreams, who's going to do it for you?
Right.
And that's the other thing we want to talk about when we're interviewing people is you got to prioritize yourself, your own wellness journey, so you can have a healthy, fit business. And so it's financially and just resource wise, fit and rich. That's what we want people to know, because then at that point you can really take it to the next level because you're going to feel really good.
Right.
High performing humans,
It is.
right? And
It's high
if you
performing.
study them, they do specific things. They eat specific ways. They work out specific ways.
Yep.
I mean, and that's one other thing. So we really believe in highlighting our members, and that also makes us stand out. So for instance, when we have our members giving a presentation, we take pictures and we make it into videos and do reels and highlights. They also get their own page. And with me having a media background, they get SEO that goes directly to their business. So we do all the things that we can to push our members out there outside of just being in that room and making those connections. We're literally touching every single digital point that we can.
Yeah.
I really like it. Especially the content, especially today with content is so huge. I speak with some business owners who are just like, I don't really do social media stuff. I'm like, really?
You're missing out.
Why?
Why are you not doing this?
Yeah, you can hire people to do it for you.
Exactly.
Yes.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, before, we all founded K4CO Radio and everything like that, I wasn't big on social media, but I knew right when I got into it, you have to.
Right.
It is a necessity at this point.
Yeah. It just, it hyper drives it.
It does.
It can.
Yeah.
Which I love. And you mentioned, and I'm glad I was right when I said passion about that, because that's one thing that I love about interviews is, and getting to know people is, behind every entrepreneur, every business owner, there is a passion there behind it. Sometimes to the point where they don't take care of themselves because they're so passionate about that business idea.
Yeah.
But another thing that Emily mentioned a little earlier, which I thought was great, is you guys also work with nonprofits. This is not just for small business owners and everything. And that is really close to K4CO. So talk a little bit about the nonprofit aspect of what you guys do.
Yeah, so we have 2 nonprofits that are in each summit that get in we comp that. And then we're always thinking of ways that we can help to benefit. So like on Saturday, I'm having a wine event at my house, and 10% of the proceeds go back to Broomfield, or Friends of Broomfield. And we just love giving back to the community, because I feel like honestly, everybody wants more community right now. It's like we are
Yeah.
just like, we need it in our life.
Yeah.
And so it's those kind of people that just drive the needle forward. They're doing so many incredible things, and we can all come together and help them.
Mm-hmm. And I agree with that, especially after the whole 2020 all the way to now. People are craving community and connection.
People are still like stuck in that energy, you know, even though it's
Mhm.
been 5 years at this point, but everyone's still talking about that story. And it really impacted people in a big way.
Right. That it did. ProjectSummitNetworking.com. Wanted to say that again for everybody who's listening on our radio station. Sitting down with Natalie Brockeveldt and Emily Moore, the owners. And what's great about this one is both of them have been business owners, I mean, most of your lives. Right there. So I wanted to talk a little bit outside of this about that aspect of yourselves. The businesses that you have the passion for and have started in your lives. Natalie, let's start with you.
Sure. So NutriFit by Natalie is a boutique style wellness center located in Westminster, and we've been in business for just about 13 years. We're an award-winning fitness studio that really harnesses holistic wellness. So my background is nutrition. I have my degree in nutrition and human nutrition and dietetics.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw this missing link years ago when I first became a trainer, almost 20 years ago, that people were trying to out-exercise their diet. And so they come into the gym and they're working out and they're doing all of these things, they're moving their body. However, they're not matching their nutrition with it. And so
so they're working out, but they're eating mac and cheese all the time.
Yes. And it's like, they could get such better results if they had a little education around nutrition. And unfortunately, there's a lot of fallacy in that world of nutrition and in dietetics. People always think there's a quick fix, and there's not, but there are tips, tricks, and there are different techniques that you can apply to really take you to the next level when it comes to physical and mental wellness. And that's what I specialize in. So I've been a trainer, like I said, for almost 20 years. I have my certification through National Academy of Sports Medicine. And I have been in business for almost 13 years. Really what's changed, though, over the course of the last 13 years is it started out just with me. Now we have 9 employees. We have group fitness classes. We have the one-on-one personal training. And then what differentiates us from some of these other gyms that are out there is the fact that we get to merge the science behind nutrition and fitness. So anyone who comes in to work out with any of my employees, whether it's classes or personal training, they have an opportunity to sit down with me, whether it's over the phone or in person. I've got some amazing software that we can really dig deep and say, you know, what are your goals? How can we match this to your current health status and really take your health and wellness to the next level? And then the last thing I'll say about it is that we have a few tenets. So we just got done with a big expansion. We have 5 other tenets that are there, everything from physical therapy, chiropractic care, microcurrent neurofeedback. I have a nurse practitioner that's there, and I have an esthetician. So we truly are a one-stop shop. Someday, Colorado, you're going to see us more than just in the city of Westminster, but we're really trying to show people that on the preventative side of wellness, there are answers. And I believe that some way you are going to pay, whether you do it now up front or you do it later. And I recommend doing it now up front because you want a high quality of life and you want to be able to feel your best. So whether you're an entrepreneur and you're trying to really push forward that way, or you just want to be able to run around with your grandkids, you have the health status, you have the quality of life to take you to wherever you want to go.
Wow. It is amazing too. I mean, everything from working out to what you put in your body. We never even really think about that.
I know.
Until we start feeling horrible.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Or that. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
The definition of insanity.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Come on.
And so this is NutriFit.
Yes.
And where in Westminster?
So we're right across from the Ranch Country Club, located at 120th and Pecos. And we've been there for the last about 8 years. But like I said, been in business for the last 13. We've won Best Personal Training in the Mile High City 3 years in a row.
Wow.
Which is really great. We've worked really hard and just diligently working toward having the best customer service, and creating and offering the community a resource for wellness. Because like I said, there are a lot of myths, there's a lot of fallacy, and we just want to shed light on the fact that you don't have to be perfect with it.
Mhm.
You can still have forward momentum by doing a few little things. In fact, we're just getting ready to host a 30-day challenge. We do things that are so different at our gym. It is about the community, but it's about who do you need to lock arms with to help you reach your goals, because you don't have to do it alone. And that's where the magic lies.
I like it.
And I will say, when I got back into the gym, it had been I had babies. I had a couple of babies. And I used to be hardcore in the gym. And I was intimidated, though. It had been a while. I'm like, I don't want to go into a big box gym. And that's how I met Natalie. And it really is like a family. Everybody's high-fiving each other. They're laughing. They're having a good time. You're not like, yes, it's painful to work out sometimes, but you're at least laughing while you're doing it. And
Right.
it makes it so much better. And there's always really great music, too.
Yes. We like
You
to have fun.
good music.
Yes,
You do. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about working
If you
out
don't
with,
like music.
Enya or something like that.
No.
I don't know if that
We
can
don't have that vibe.
Emily, let's go with you. I mean, you
Yeah.
said you've been in kind of tech your whole life.
Yes.
And you were just kind of jumped into it. What started your entrepreneurial path?
Oh, geez. So I was the face of a tech company, and it was all community based and dating, actually. And then after I got out of that, I met my current husband, and he owned Lingos, which stands for Linux, Google, Windows. And he needed help. And so I stepped in and once again became the face of tech. But, it's really funny. Like, if I see him, which he's a genius, he can develop the most incredible things. But if he's talking about it, it's kind of high level, right? And there's certain spaces and places that make sense. But I have been able to leverage an understanding of what people need and those little baby steps that they can take to move that needle forward at such a level that I've had people chasing me out of a room saying, I was scared of AI and now I need it in my business. Like, how can you give me that level of bliss that you were talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we help with high impact websites, AI, SEO, and we've also developed our own custom software application called SpinFlow, which helps businesses to deploy intelligent agents as well as workflows. And we're now getting to the space where there's automations involved. And basically it's doing things for you while you're sleeping. And that's the space that we all need to be at, because I think the thing about business ownership that so many people don't take into consideration, and it's not that they don't know, it's just it's you don't know what you don't know, basically, right? Is all the things that you have to do to run a business,
Mm-hmm.
to make it happen. It's not just your passion. You have to do the books. You also have to have somebody that understands marketing. You also have to build the website. You have to do all these things. And it doesn't necessarily mean that we're always good at those things. So how can we leverage AI or people in our group to move that needle forward and help you to get away from the things that maybe don't bring you as much joy, but they're necessary,
Mm-hmm.
and keeping you in your genius zone, keeping you happy and passionate about what you're doing.
About
That's
what you're
matters.
doing.
And
That is
spending
what
more
matters.
time with your family,
Right.
because that's the line that was blurred in 2020, right? Like, even if you're not an entrepreneur, you can relate to this. There's this space where you start working from your house. You're getting an email at 10 o'clock at night. And what is the first thing that you feel obligated to do?
Respond to it right
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And so those days need to be over.
away. Mm-hmm.
And so that's where AI is really going to come in as the hero.
I think that's very interesting how that is. You are exactly right that, you get something, and let's say, there's times when I'm laying in bed or something like that and an email comes through my phone. I almost feel guilty for saying, I'll do it tomorrow,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and that could just have a really negative effect on that. But also with this AI and everything, I mean, even working, 15-hour days, it's not necessarily ways to work less. It's ways to work smarter.
Yeah. Smarter, harder, faster.
Smarter, harder, faster.
Yes.
Yep, exactly. One little testimonial I will give with Emily is that although we are same in the gym, same with Project Summit, we do love referrals that are because we're getting them from these personal relationships that we're growing. But we still need things to come in through our website. And so Emily, actually, I was like, listen, I need your help. My world is science and math and people connection. Her world is creativity and technology.
Right.
But together we can get more attention to the site. And we have a great Google rating, right? We have awesome reviews. We're 5-star, but I need to showcase that. That's where Emily comes into play. So she's been able to use all of her magic and boost our SEO, and we're getting more and more leads. And it was so quiet for so long. People were scared with, it was an election year. So things shift.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people don't spend as much money as they once were, especially for things that they think are specialty items like personal training and fitness and health. And I just a quick testimonial, we have literally gotten I'd have to count for you, but over a dozen more leads than our normal numbers just from having her put her brains to it. And I am very, very gracious for that. That was amazing. So
it's like Christmas morning for me because I always get these texts and I'm like, literally, like I do the dance. I like get up and it gives me so much energy because that can change someone's life, right? If you're bringing them more leads, more business, right? It's the best feeling in the world. So I'm very grateful to AI for those reasons.
I don't think anybody ever complained about too many leads.
No.
Too much.
So. I don't think so.
It's always not enough.
I know.
Yeah, it's always
and
not
what's
enough.
funny is that when people aren't getting enough, that's when they kind of certain actions that get them more.
Right.
Like advertising, like marketing, like different SEO type stuff. So you've been working Project Summit Network. It's about 1.5 years. Mm-hmm. What does the future hold? When you guys look at where are we going to be
I know.
in 5 years, what do you want?
That's a good. Well, I'll just say this. It's been an honor to learn from Emily and grow with Emily for just, again, the last 1.5 years with Project Summit. All the things we have to pivot from the marketing, the complexity of marketing. I'll say that because it's more than just put up a banner. Mm-hmm. It's so much more than that. And really just everything that we've learned from when we first started with this passion of helping people to where we are today. I'm really excited to see what AI will do for these entrepreneurs that are part of Project Summit. Emily and I are big goal setters. We're big dreamers. We see much larger things for Project Summit, more than just what we're doing now. We want to be in bigger spaces. We want to be able to have keynote speaking opportunities. We want to expand the world to what Project Summit is. We want to show them, listen, this is what we can offer you. And this is how we're going to do it with technology and then the standard, networking style. So we have so many little things that we've talked about. We don't want to give away too many secrets, but I will just say we're going big places. And it's been an honor to ride that roller coaster ride with Miss Emily here.
Basically, when I hear people say 10 toes down, that's like our one toe. Like we go fast and hard.
Yep.
Yes. We never stop going after our goals because the thing is, that's when you get stagnant, mm-hmm. right? The creativity stops flowing and things are moving so fast. And we really want to make sure that we're creating an environment that is keeping up with the times and also supporting our people to also keep up with the times.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, it sounds amazing. It's so much more than just networking that you guys offer.
Yeah.
With all of your, we don't have too much time left, but with all of your history in business and everything like that, I like asking this to business owners. I worked for other people for the majority of my life, and so I'm only kind of new to sleepless nights and what the heck am I doing and all that stuff. So if you could go back and tell yourself, with everything that you've learned, if you could go back to a younger you when you were just kind of starting out your businesses, what would be the main things you would tell yourself?
The very first thing would be it's okay to delegate. I think a lot of times entrepreneurs want to take on everything themselves. And to Emily's point, you're not always good at the other things, but why not find someone who can be good at those things, who have dedicated their lives to be good at those things, and lock arms with them? So for me, I'm not the best at technology. I'm better at it now, knowing Emily, but I'm not that. In so many ways, I'm so old school in my brain. And I know that because I've seen it, when I can believe in it and trust in it and use technology to help me get to the next level, boom. Now all of a sudden, I don't have to work as hard. I'm working smarter. So I'd say delegating in whatever capacity that means for where entrepreneurs are at right now. That's my best piece of advice. And finding an outlet to mitigate stress. For me, it is working out. It is running. I am an avid runner. I believe that fitness is truly what our bodies need to thrive. And NutriFit is a demonstration of that. So finding an outlet for whatever that means to get rid of the stress, because we're going to have more stress than most people when your next bite of food relies on what your sales are, what your services are, and what you're showcasing to the world. You got to find a way to get rid of stress, because otherwise it will eat you alive. And like you said, you will have sleepless nights.
Yep.
So prioritize wellness along the way, because we only have one shot at this. This is the journey. So you got to feel your best to do your best.
I like it. I like that. What about you, Emily?
First off, it's just going back to that story of thinking that there's that halfway mark, right? So what's interesting about running a business, it's not always just straight, right? There's bumps in the road. And I think the biggest thing is never, ever giving up on yourself. Because if you show up every day, even if that day you wake up and you're tired or whatever might be going on in your life, you're under stress, like that's a part of life. Right? It's being committed to yourself and seeing it all the way through. And also the other thing I would say is boundaries, setting boundaries so that you do know, yes, I understand the world operates in the way that 10 o'clock at night, but like for me, I have small children. I have a 6 and 8-year-old that deserve and need my attention. And so it's setting those boundaries so that I'm not going to send those emails at 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
Because that's time that's very precious that I can't get back. Two of the most amazing gifts you can give anyone is your time and your presence. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
That's
very
what we
true.
can give.
Very
Can't
true.
get them back either.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I absolutely love, thank you very much for coming in. I think it's great. I think a lot of times, especially starting a business, it's easy to see the summit. What's hard is everything to get to the summit. And it's constant and constant and constant. It is about never giving up, as both of you obviously have not throughout your life. So definitely check them out. Once again, projectsummitnetworking.com. All the information scrolling down on the screen. And if you did just catch the last part of this interview, this entire interview will be on K4CO Radio social media for a month on everything, and then on YouTube forever. So if you did want to go there. And anything else that we didn't cover that you guys really just want to make sure to get out there? We covered a lot.
We covered a lot. You had great questions. Aside from being so thankful for you allowing us to showcase our business on here, if there are entrepreneurs that are listening, we encourage you to just reach out to us. I'm sure you have a ton of questions. This interview probably generated a ton of thoughts and questions for the listeners. We'd love to answer them, and we'd love to invite them into Project Summit. So like I said, our guest link is on there, but you can call us and email us whatever questions you may have, and Emily and I are happy to answer them. And hopefully be able to meet some of you guys in the Project Summit networking and the events that we have.
Definitely.
Yes, we look forward to it.
All right. Well, thank you very much, everybody. You've been listening to an interview on K4CO Radio Project Summit Networking. Natalie Brockeveldt, who's owner and co-founder, and then, of course, the owner and co-founder, the other one, Emily Moore. A wonderful team, both kind of opposites, and it just absolutely works perfectly. And that's what they're kind of challenging is let's find those opposites where they can help you out, you can help each other out.
Yeah.
So check them out, projectsummitnetworking.com, 720-244-8622. Thank you again very much for coming on in. It's been wonderful. Yeah. Stay tuned. We do have the afternoon mix of music right after this, goes from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And have a great rest of the day, and you guys take care.